Tank committed to that fight. And, let me throw shots at the managers when it's like Tank taking on a Frank Martin, right?
Mm.
Tank is a bigger name than Bud. You see that? You agree?
Yes.
Boots is a bigger name than Frank Martin.
Yes.
You agree? So why is it that Tank, taking a risk of fighting a Frank Martin, who's a crafty southpaw, and you don't hear the, oh yeah, it's too high risk, low reward, stuff like that. But when it comes to Bud and Boots, you hear it. Like, that's all I want. I want to throw that shot in because people acting like Bud and Boots ain't a big fight.
All right. As far as we'll delve in that a little bit later, but earlier you made the comparison with Gervonta Davis looking like he's going to fight Frank Martin, and Frank Martin not having, I guess, a big brand, and then you made the parallel to Boots having a bigger brand than Frank Martin,
For sure.
and Tank having a bigger brand than Bud. That nobody is saying, low risk or, high risk, low reward in that regards, right? So the only thing with that is Gervonta and Bud are in two different places of their career. That's an argument that could be made. That Bud is on the way out and Tank is like smack dab in the middle of the prime. And in my eyes, Boots is a lot more dangerous of a fight for Bud than Frank Martin is for Tank. Yeah.
You got just push it like how I tell our fans, if you still on top and you're still in the if you're still on top of that weight class as boxing is a sport, you fight the next best man that's on that
I agree.
available. So my whole thing is I'm not counting Terence Crawford years or how he feels like he wants to be out. He could be out the next fight. He could shoot. He could be able to fight 2-3 more fights and be like, yo, I want to fight another 2-3 more fights. You'll never know. So I'm not going to say he's 36 years old. He still got a lot of them. You can tell. To me, if he keeps his body right, he could box for next couple 2-3 years and still, be where he's at now. But my whole thing about that is like. Whoever's up next and whoever's easy business, you can't do that side of the street and all that because right now they could both fight on the PBC platform. That's why Frank Martin and Tank made sense, and it's easier for to make that fight than it was for Shakur. From what I heard, they tried Devin, but Devin, chose a business route of the zone and going up to 140. So I would say I'm not going to leave that. I was like, if Boots is there, if Bud is there at 147 and you're still holding on to the titles, you gotta fight Boots.
I agree with the holding on to the titles.
If you're going, if you're not planning to fight Boots or you keep on putting them up, just release all the titles, move up to 154 and try to make that so-called history fights. Go to 154, 60, 68 is too much to me, but just go do it. Don't just talk shit and, especially the managers and stuff like that, while he still have them titles at 147.
No.
That, to me, that shows you still planning. If the right fight's available, you'll still fight at 147.
No, I agree with the sentiment is to either, release the belts.
Yeah.
Like if you're planning on doing bigger fights and you're not even looking at that weight class no more, there's no point in holding the belts. Let them go. Let everybody else do their thing.
Exactly. I see an interview with Bomac said, oh yeah, I'm not looking at the 147 because we cleaned it out and stuff like that. Then just release the titles. Don't even.
But with the comparison with Boots and Frank, when you look at Frank, you see a solid fighter. You see a good fighter.
Yeah.
When you look at Boots, you see the next guy, right?
Like
if Boots doesn't, nobody like Boots winning the world title is an afterthought, right?
Yeah,
Everybody expects Boots to you're following behind the Ray Robinsons, the Floyds, the Leonards. Like your expectation of greatness is different than a Frank Martin. So. I understand what you're saying, but it's a little different.
I get where you coming from. If Boots showed more flaws, people like Bud and them would have been lined up to fight him. I'll put it that way. And my whole thing is boxing, right? Boxing in history is always the older guy giving the younger guy a shot that's even on the top. Like people we in our eyes, you can see that Boots has that skill, and we being the inside, he has that work ethic. But then you got the fanagers. Oh, he hasn't fought nobody. Oh, this and that. He don't deserve it. Trying to play it off. He don't got a big brand. Like, he got a bigger brand than what the fanagers trying to say when it comes to Bud. Like, I told people, it'll be a big fight. Bud would get a lot of money for that fight. Stop pocket watching. So I was just like, just in history, it's always, if you're still on top, you're going to fight the next guy. We would have never knew it with, Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali. I can name plenty of fights. Chavez, De La Hoya. Just throughout history, if you're just there and you're on top, you fight the guy.